EA Sports. Big.
Prêt pour la fête?
It's weirder than candy.
Mr. Jones in the house, yo. Come on.
Get it on.
Number one, baby.
Let's get it on. You know, if you just relax, losing will be a lot easier to take.
You're looking at a winner, baby. Just remember who they call Mr. around here.
Yes,
Bonne chance, tu vas en avoir besoin.
Yeah, that
Hey everyone, I'm Insetic, and like the game says, welcome to SSX. With me on this video is Blackout the M&M,
Hey.
Turo,
Hello.
and Zindictive.
Sup, lads?
So, SSX is an extreme sports snowboarding game released in 2000 as a launch title for the PlayStation 2. It's also the first game created for the EA Sports Big branding. Yeah, while the sequels of this game were on all consoles of that generation, GameCube, PS2, Xbox, the first one is a PS2 exclusive, so maybe not everyone has played it or is as familiar. In this playthrough, I'll be picking a different character for each level. So, in the first video, we're starting with the first character on the roster, Mac, and then we'll be going to the first level, the first area of the SSX World Tour, Snowdream.
And it's cool. Also, this main menu music is really good.
Oh yeah, music's great.
Someone found it on a mixtape, the original album that the song was on. It's on YouTube somewhere. I'll post a link in the comments once this video goes up.
Yeah, this right here. Just this bass wobble right here.
It's kind of scary.
Dude, Diplo his whole life has never created a bass drop that good.
Yeah, for a launch title for the PS2,
Here it is.
it's looking really solid so far, even though...
Yeah. So to kind of talk about this game and then where the series is going to go, I mean, this one absolutely revolutionized snowboarding games and really the extreme sports genre. Before this, on Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, you had games kind of like this, but a lot more limited. Think of
Well, they were
1080,
more realistic, like the Cool Borders games that you refuse to play.
1080, Snowboard Kids, Twisted Edge on N64. Yeah, Cool Borders and its ripoffs on PS1. But
Well, I'm telling you, Cool
SSX
Borders 3 is a banger of a game.
Yeah, but SSX here is so much bigger, so much wilder. You have gravity-defying physics where you had no limitations. You have massive levels with huge jumps and crazy shortcuts, and gameplay that's just extremely fun. It introduced, if not perfected, the element of tricks equal boost, boost equals speed. So flying around and doing a triple flip 1080 off a big jump is what you need to do to then get the speed to jump into that hidden shortcut.
And then Freakstyle came and perfected it.
It's an absolute blast to play.
It is a blast to play.
No wonder this game spawned a whole series and became the blueprint for the arcadey racing game, sort of the extreme sports genre. If you enjoyed other games of this time, like Downhill Domination, Jet X2O, Carve, Pure, or hell, yeah, the rest of EA Sports Big's catalog, you have this
Arctic
game
Thunder, remember that
and
one?
this series to thank.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna say it
Arctic
right now, when it comes to the very, style so far, of, the HUD and everything, SSX has kept that style throughout the entire series, I believe. Like, it perfected its own style, like, from the first game, essentially.
Yeah.
I feel like I just, like, stepped into a video with IGN's new cast. Y'all are trying way too hard to sound professional.
I mean, specifically for this game, I mean, this is, like, my favorite series of all time. Or definitely at least favorite extreme sports.
I mean, I said before, I think I put more hours into Tricky than almost any other game. Because I had it as a kid. I probably played it more than any other game I owned. 3 I got later on, and I had gotten so used to Tricky that it was hard to adjust, but
yeah,
we'll get there. As far as the first game, I first played it after playing the later 2. And I think it's one of those things that can be kind of hard to go back, because it just feels like Tricky with a little bit taken out of it.
Yeah, it's a great starting point, but the series will only improve from here on out.
Yeah. It's
beginnings.
Yes. And I remember reading reviews from the time for Tricky where reviewers were saying, not a lot has changed, there's really not a reason to upgrade if you're already on the first game, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's like saying, there's no reason to buy Third Strike if you already own one of the other Street Fighter 3 games. It's like, are you fucking joking? There's so much refinement that's going on.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely something in hindsight. Yeah. But I mean, this first game, it really did, like, it was a PS2 launch title, and I've heard, like, especially this game, like, in regards to the other PS2 launch titles, really sold people on the system and, like, the graphics it was capable of.
I was gonna say, would you rather play this, or would you rather play X Squad?
Yeah, like FIFA 2001 or something. But I mean, put this up against, like, a PS1 game, and it is, like, I mean, we just joined a new console generation, and those kind of side-by-sides, like, are nothing compared to this next to a PS1 game.
Yeah, and then
like,
go compare it to a
insane.
game PC and be like, oh, wait.
Yeah. So what I'll do here is that for the racing, you have to do it 3 times. It's basically 3 heats. Think quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. But I don't want to show just 3 of the same race, so always in the first heat, I'll stick to the actual path. I'll kind of show that off for someone who's maybe never seen it before. Second heat, I'll start adding some more shortcuts. I'll cut some corners. And then third heat, I'll implement the best shortcuts, show you the greatest racing
that's when he starts sequence
line.
breaking. He just clips through the environment and warps to the finish line.
So, I don't know, if you watch the first heat and you think like, man, look at this dude, stick
dude.
around. And, I'll try
like,
hard to show off as well.
I know you had more of a scripted structure for this. I don't know if I'm maybe jumping ahead in that script, but Blake kind of gave his history with the SSX series. Do you want to talk about yours, Synthetic?
Oh, thank you. That actually is another part of my... It's not really a script, it's more a bulleted thing, but it is more than I do for every other game. So, as I mentioned, this might be my favorite extreme sports series of all time, and I've been with it since the start. I got a PlayStation 2 at Christmas the year this came out, 2000, and the 2 games my parents had gotten for me with it were, well, 1, Looney Tunes Racing, which was a PS1 game actually, but 2, SSX. I loved it. I loved SSX Tricky and 3 and got those when they came out. I kind of moved on to other games by the time On Tour came out, but I still played at the time. I haven't played SSX Blur at all since I didn't have a Wii. And then, of course, I played 2012 when it came out.
I had a Wii.
Yeah.
SSX Blur sucks.
Well, I'll see when I get there, actually. I'm kind of excited. But another thing, was that this was really the first community I got into. I was posting away on MercuryCity.com way back in the day, which was the major SSX fan site. My username was Edged Border, just if anyone hears this who was there back then as well.
Bro.
I'm currently an admin on the official SSX community Discord server as well. I don't do anything there, but hey, I guess I could be the publicist for a bit. Come join me if you want. We have some good activity, actually. Really interesting modding projects and such. I'll put a link in the description. But while little me back in the day was never able to do the endless intricate combos that you could do in the Tony Hawk series, which made people stick with that for a long time. I mean, hell, my highest scores in the remake didn't fare much better. I could hit these huge jumps and do the kind of tricks that keep you addicted to this game, especially as, again, the series got bigger and better with Tricky and 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
really, playing all of Tony Hawk last year, that was like, oh man, yeah, I get to play these games I haven't played in forever. But playing SSX is like, hell yeah, I get to play more SSX. I never really stopped.
The excite goes through the
You
roof.
speedrun this game, right?
3. SSX 3,
Yeah,
I
you
do
speedrun.
some speedruns.
I thought you
a few years ago.
speedrun both Tricky and 3. But I
Yeah.
just meant the series in general. Also, as a small aside, kind of as a testament to how old this series is, kind of, and also how far real life snowboarding has come. I was watching the X Games, which was on last week, and on the Big Air event, they were throwing down like 1800s and stuff, and one of the commentators made a joke about referencing SSX Tricky, and in that game, you couldn't do like higher than an 1800, and if you did, it wouldn't tell you the name of your trick.
Yeah, the
Which
whole question
I just
mark.
thought that was really fun. Yeah, do question mark stuff.
Yeah, and so, I remember watching, I was actually watching it too. I remember one guy actually managed to max out his Uber trick meter, which
Yeah,
has
he
never
did.
happened until that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he performed 6 Ubers in one run and got unlimited boost.
No one had ever done that in X Games history.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing that he did it in the Big Air event, which is just one jump.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was so impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say at the early years of the PS2 when it comes to these extreme sports games were a real special time. I mean, early 2000s, you wanted like a more futuristic sort of game, you had something like Airblade, you wanted, snowboarding, you have SSX, you want that skateboarding feel, Time Pro Skater 3 be around the corner, you have to rollerblade coming up progressive inline, you have a whole bunch of like really great stuff. Like
Completely
not even that coming
ignoring the
in.
masterpiece for the Dreamcast, Trick Style.
Yeah, if you wanted a scootering game, you had Razor Freestyle Scooter.
I had that.
Oh, my, okay, seriously, we got a Tony Hawk remake. Someone please remake SSX
please.
again. Like,
Yes.
you look at the snowboarding games now, and it's like Steep is okay, Mark McMorris, the snowboard game, but none of them do this. None of
Steep
them
sucks.
just say, fuck gravity, fuck realism, you're gonna do some crazy Uber trick and a quadruple backflip and get, 30,000 points. Like, I want
I'm
this.
sorry, man. I think Steep is hella boring. Like, even as far as realistic games go, if there's just this bland, featureless slope, nothing to see.
Yeah, Steve's
know.
kind of lame.
It's like I like racing games. That's what I'm into. And Steep would be like if someone made a racing game where you have like 3 very boring sedans and you drive around a completely empty city.
Yeah.
It's like, yay.
Sedan racing.
I really love racing, so this
Hell
is
yeah,
exciting.
racing. Nothing's happening.
Steve Rechtschaffner, the creative director on this guy, and literally the guy who invented the event of Snowboard Supercross. Like, this game came from that idea, which is now an X Games event, I believe, or at least an Olympic one. But yeah, he has his own studio now, and I think in 2019 he gave an interview and was like, "Yeah, I'd love to maybe remake something that has the style and feel of SSX one day."
Let's will this into existence.
When it comes
Yeah.
to SSX, this series has been dormant for almost 10 years now. The last game was like 2012.
And
I
that
mean,
was the
Skate's coming
reboot.
back now, so why not remaster SSX?
Yeah, I mean, they actually did put SSX 3 on the Xbox One's, like, backwards compatible game list. Not, like, putting the disc in, but, like, downloadable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Boo Boo is a top shelf board right there.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, if you're gonna, EA's bringing Skate back, so hopefully SSX will, come forward with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I hold my breath for Grind Session 2.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Shaba.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I have, one major thing, and this is something that you really want to do if you come to play this
yeah.
game. If you've ever struggled with the default controls, or you haven't played this game, but you have played later games in the series, and you want to play this one, you should switch to Pro controls. That fixes the most awkward, annoying thing you'll run into if you play this game on default controls. Because basically, and again, this was a, first pass thing. I won't fault them too much, but
And the fact that they already knew that it was a problem and included an alternate control scheme.
the left thumbstick and the D-pad have the exact same functions. So normally they move and turn your guy, but once you hold X and crouch to get ready to jump, now they're used to wind up a spin or a flip. That means on default, once you crouch down, you cannot turn your rider, and that sucks a lot.
Yeah.
Pro controls, meanwhile, make the left stick just be controlling your rider and the D-pad be for pre-winding, which SSX Tricky made the standard control scheme, and everything else from that on did too.
Yeah, that's
So go to
actually
Pro
something
Controls.
I learned recently, that they swapped that for SSX Tricky. And SSX Tricky, they also have a Pro Control, but what that does is if you have Pro Control on, then if you hold X and use the left stick, then you'll also still pre-wind. So they swapped that for SSX Tricky. But in this game, Pro
shouldn't even
Control
be an
allows you
option
to
because
turn.
it's automatically inferior to not be
Yeah.
able to make any adjustments once crouching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here in Show Off, and
There we
also,
go.
if you've only played Tricky and haven't played the first game, there are no added ramps or rails. It's just the level, but with multipliers, of course. And I gotta say, if you are doing this first thing, or really as one of your first events, this Snowdream might be one of the hardest gold medals to get in this game, because you really don't have any stats. With Mac here, I'm making this a lot easier, because he has the highest tricking stat of any new character. And the highest overall, actually. But like, if you're playing as someone else who has like no points in tricking to start with, you might need to wait and come back to get gold when you put more points in and can now reliably land a backflip.
Yeah, I'm going to be showing just how hard that's going to get with later characters who have like low trick stats, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, it's again a thing of like, if you're like, oh, I need to get both golds on Snowdream before moving on.
Yeah. I mean, personally, when I'm running through the game with one character, I do all of the races and then I do all of the show-offs.
Exactly.
But I mean, a lot of people, especially people who play this game online for LPs, like maybe someone that you're watching right now, but yeah, they tend to play the levels and then move on to the next level once they've done both show-off and race.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That like threw together in 5 seconds thing when you get full boost, where just the letters to the word boost appear a few seconds after each other.
Yeah.
Boost!
I mean,
Look at that. They're like, oh, it ought to do something, right? Okay, well, how about this?
I mean,
I
they
gotta
gotta
say,
know.
like, it's, kind of an understated thing compared to everything else, but the boost is also a part of just what makes this game and this series so good, because it's not something you have to build up over a bunch of jumps and then use all at once, or something you have to time right or do some specific button inputs for. It's easy to get, easy to use, and I only appreciate that more after playing other games of the genre that make it unfun to try and boost.
It's also just kind of cool.
I already
looking.
mentioned freak style, bro. You don't have to mention it a second time.
Yeah, you might note that there actually is kind of a blurring effect to this first game, like how freak style overuses.
Oh, yeah.
But here it is just pretty temporary.
Thank God.
Soft focus, Vaseline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Snowdream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
And then after each event, you get more stat points. You get more stat points based on your medal. So if I only got silver, I'd only gotten like 3 instead of 5. But yeah. Next time we're gonna look at Elysium Alps, and again I'm gonna be picking a different character each time, because it was totally fine to basically play this game like 4 or 5 times over. Consecutively. But I mean, yeah, we've got a good road ahead in front of us, the pinnacle of sort of arcade trick style racing here in this series. So I'll see you all next time.